Ln or log? What's the controversy? There's some special bases for logarithms, but we can't agree what to call them. If I have a favorite base, call it b, then I can write exponentials with any other base in terms of exponentials with base b. And I can write logarithms with any other base in terms of logarithms with base b. So why don't we find the best base and use it always as the only one? Mathematicians soon realized that the base e was special, and they gave a special name to logarithms with base e, Ln, sometimes read ln. This is called the natural logarithm, although I like to think the n stands for John Napier, the inventor of logarithms. What's special about e? Exponentials with base e appear naturally as limits. Some limits involving e to the x or ln x have nice clean values, whereas the same limits with other bases, not so much. E to the x and ln x have simpler derivatives than exponentials or logarithms with any other bases. E to the x and ln x also have beautiful power series expansions. The evidence is plenty. Natural logarithm is natural, and it is the only logarithm you should ever use. But wait, some people disagree. To understand why, we have to go back to a time before computers or even calculators, back when everything had to be computed by hand with the help of log tables and slide rules. Since we use the decimal system to write numbers, the logarithm in base 10, sometimes called common logarithm or decimal logarithm, was the most useful to do calculations by hand. It became common to write log without specifying the base to mean base 10. Fast forward to the present. Nobody computes by hand anymore, and slide rules are museum relics. There is no longer the same need for logarithms in base 10. Modern mathematicians say, hey, log by itself should clearly be reserved for the most important base, the only one that matters, e. But it is hard to change tradition, and engineers have never allowed mathematicians to tell them how to use notation, so they continue using ln instead. And that is the situation today. Whenever you see ln x or log x, they both probably mean logarithm in base e. When you read a book or do math with somebody, it is probably a good idea to find out which convention they use. Ln x is most commonly used in science and engineering, but also in calculus, probably because most calculus students are in science and engineering rather than math. Log x is most commonly used in math. If you take any math courses beyond calculus, they will probably use log to refer to a natural logarithm. Which notation do you prefer?